When considering only gaming performance, how do iQOO 60 Pro, Redmi K80 Supreme, and OnePlus A15 Supreme compare? This question was asked by a loyal fan. We'll objectively compare these three phones so that others with the same queries can find their answers after watching. Firstly, we'll compare iQOO's Snapdragon 8 Supreme to Redmi K80 Supreme's Dimensity Xuan 4 Plus. Without optimization, Snapdragon 8 Supreme's basic performance is expected to outperform Dimensity 9400. For gaming performance, I'll use Peacegame for comparison. Reviewing the previously tested Redmi K80 self-tracking edition, it would lock at 90 FPS after overheating. Today we'll take a different approach by improving their cooling to avoid overheating and throttling, ensuring they run in optimal condition, and directly compare the differences in their best performances. Just to note, all three phones were set to the new mode, testing smooth 120 FPS at 1080p resolution. As we know, the early stages of Peacegame's fighting scenes greatly test the system's stability. To better control variables, I specifically compared the average frame rate over the first 15 minutes. Looking directly at the results, OnePlus and iQOO both achieved the score of 119.1. However, Redmi's power consumption is approximately 5% lower than OnePlus, though the difference is minimal. Redmi's average frame rate of 118.7 is only 0.4 FPS below the other two, an acceptable difference. However, its power consumption is slightly higher. Redmi's power consumption reached 6.98 watts, about 20% higher than iQOO's minimum. Throttling strategies show OnePlus and iQOO are similar. The Redmi is relatively rigid with an oversized case causing high frequency and large fluctuations, making its slightly higher power consumption traceable. To share my personal understanding of manufacturer scheduling, I think if you really want a gaming version, it's actually very simple. We just need to ramp up the frequency, but I believe this guarantees. Under the premise of stability, major manufacturers prioritize minimizing power consumption in their scheduling efforts. After half an hour, users can pause and compare their battery drain. In other aspects, Redmi and iQOO have dedicated chips and generally support overclocking and boosting, while OnePlus uses software. First, looking at Redmi's dedicated second GPU chip, after enabling display enhancement, the overall feel doesn't change much. Then for OnePlus, although there are differences before and after, it mainly feels like just adding a layer of sharpening. With iQOO, enabling high graphics makes a significant difference through natural resolution enhancement, not merely by adding a sharpening layer. Compared to the three phones, iQOO's upscaling is obviously stronger. It doesn't end there. After enabling ultra-high graphics, iQOO even supports 2K with 144 Hz. Overclocking and overboosting Peace Crystal adds VAA anti-color reduction, which reduces flicker in distant images. In my view, iQOO performs better regarding details. The features are also more abundant in comparison. The advantages lie in the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, the frame rate is relatively stable, and the power consumption is also lower. The core components include a BOE Q10 2K display, 6800 mAh battery, and 120W fast charging, which is generous. The K80 self-chasing version outperforms others with its metal frame, large motor, and superior anti-breakage protection, making it beyond criticism in external configurations. If you value the overall experience, it is indeed more comprehensive. The OnePlus A15 Ultimate version has somewhat weaker external configurations.